things that typically cross people's minds when you talk about these kind of people. Number one is he's too successful to be dangerous, and number two is he's too powerful to be held accountable. No, he's coming home, so he gets quiet. If you notice, all of the documentaries prior to the sentencing of Sean Combs, that was everybody talking. People that used to be cool with him, next to him, people was denouncing him. But now that there's whispers that he's coming home soon, Netflix has to drop a documentary with relatively unknown people in it. It wasn't just about Cassie. It wasn't just about what he's been convicted of or even charged with. It was other things that they spoke to in this particular documentary that raised awareness and also raised suspicion. We hire a bad guy. The bad guy name is 50 Cent. I see a lot of people acting like 50 is like greenlit all amongst Netflix, and I want to push back on that. Although 50 has built something monumental and done something that rarely people are able to do coming out of entertainment. We got a lot of respect for his hustle. 50 ain't really greenlit at Netflix. They use 50 to hide behind him and use that footage. He was in the red zone. He couldn't get anyone around him to grab a camera. He had to go and get a third party. A billionaire. You gotta go get a third party because you want to shoot a... And so what do? We hire a bad guy. The bad guy name is 50 Cent. I see a lot of people acting like 50 is like greenlit all amongst Netflix, and I want to push back on that. Although 50 has built something monumental and done something that rarely people are able to do coming out of entertainment. We got a lot of respect for his hustle. 50 ain't really greenlit at Netflix. They use 50 to hide behind him and use that footage. And so no one that's a quote unquote exec can be held accountable. They'll just blame it on 50. It's messy like that because 50 was involved. One thing you got to understand is I believe 50 to be someone who understands marketing at a level that Diddy understands it. And so soon as this stuff is happening, when he comes out, he's signaling to the companies. When he says documentary coming soon, Diddy do it? That's really like a signal to the companies that, yo, I'm willing to work on this documentary. So if y'all need someone from culture, powerful from culture, that'll speak on Diddy on the other side and what's going on, and you know, I'm going to do what I want to do. Yo, I'm willing to be involved. He's throwing his hat in the market. And so as it pertains to this, I believe 50 was just utilized as a tool for them to shield themselves from bad business. And it's like, whatever y'all blame on this documentary, blame it on 50. Now, would the accolades go to 50? The same way the blame will go to 50? See, these are the tricks that you have to watch. And salute to Netflix. They do a lot of good business. I know a lot of creators that make money with them, so this isn't about them. I'm just speaking from the industry standpoint, what I'm viewing, and we're breaking down information, and I don't feel as though it's divisive. I think it's informative, and I have a duty to do that on behalf of not only culture but just business. We live in a gray area at this point, and so as things become more and more gray, I have to make them black and white for my people. And so we find our tribe and we segregate ourselves and live on the island where information is king, money is needed, and love is always currency. I think too many people get lost in the sauce these days. And so I try to remain humble. But when I see 50 do stuff like this, right, I think 50 has built this brand in a way where it's kind of bulletproof. No one really says anything. He lives a certain way. People done him bad. See, that's the thing, right? And that's why I can't really say nothing either, because I get it, right? Come up in a spot where they do you bad, where they kind of try to discredit you, where they shoot you up, where they don't let you in, because these old around here really be haters. They always so scared somebody gonna take the light from them. They don't want to make no calls and help nobody. They don't want to point no right direction. They so busy worried about the next, man. I always tell dudes, I ain't trying to be better than you. I'm trying to be better than I was, a better version of what I was. I'm trying to beat the old me. I was doing hella good for this, so I'm still trying to outdo what I done before I ran into y'all folk. You understand me? And so 50 got some of that energy. Like, it was hard. The come up was hard. You know, I still can't excuse certain things. I wouldn't go that far. You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't go that far. But I noticed it's certain things that he stayed away from on there as well. And so maybe he got involved so he can make sure certain things are not spoken to, because there's family involved as well. So I don't know. All I'm saying is I feel as though that he was used as a shield. And again, that's some behavior in this documentary that we can't excuse, right? There's a lot of things that I'm not excusing. I'm speaking from a business perspective, but I do want to be clear to the audience. There's things in this documentary that's just inexcusable behavior. But just from a business perspective, let's kind of drill it down and view some of the other angles and see what we come up with. Also in episode 1, he was very interested in his PR. He was saying, man, you just talking to CNN. And so that paranoia tells me that Diddy is someone watching YouTube videos. Yeah, Diddy someone watching them same YouTube videos that all y'all was watching through COVID, that people be watching now. I always tell folks, you don't know who watching you, man. Your shit may got 600 views. It may be in there that really is some of them is joints. You know what I mean? It may be women in there that's really joints. It may be just 700 joints watching your shit, right? You got to move with that kind of vibration. But the vibe I was getting from Diddy in episode 1 speaking to his lawyers is, yo, I ain't really trusting what y'all doing. You on CNN sounding funny, y'all TMZ. Yo, that paranoia is birthed because Diddy is aware that these YouTube videos and these low budget, like poor people started all of these narratives and uncovered a lot of this shit. CNN wasn't looking at my sex life. This shit started at the ground level. So if anybody can tell you that these little bitty YouTube videos and people doing these narratives in these pockets is Diddy, Big U, it's a lot of they can really testify to all that old sector of YouTube that damn near dry snitching and all that. It's being utilized on a real level. Also, something I found interesting out of that footage that Diddy's team came out and said basically was stolen. You know, his team is playing PR games and saying, yo, we don't know what y'all are doing. This is stolen footage. Netflix is already probably on top of that from a legal perspective. They don't have anything to worry about. I'm sure that Diddy hired a third party to come in for maybe a day, because it looks like all of the footage that they used over the 4 episodes was really about maybe under 5 hours of footage. Maybe one day, half a day he had those people with him, or maybe a full day feels like he had those people with him. They did a great job of using B-roll and other footage to tie it all in and make it stretch over 4 episodes. But another point I was watching for was his demeanor. Because when I'm watching this Netflix documentary, he didn't seem like his head was down and he was down and out. But if you remember from that time, I remember reporting on it. Diddy was looking like lost in space, just doing this. He wasn't even talking. I was like, man, what going on in Diddy? Just spaced out. They were presenting Diddy in the public like, but when you look at this footage, he's still high vibration. He still feel like he a warrior. He going through it. He was getting phone calls of people filing suit in real time, and he was telling his lawyers, get out there and say something. He was asking people to go on the record. Listen, Diddy is a manipulator. Let's just say what it is. But most people that run businesses, they're strategic. And so these individuals know how to put things together and put people in positions. He was calling out for favors. I need you to go on the record and let them folks know I ain't really like that. You know me. And then he'll say, well, if it's not in your heart, just don't do it. Well, you done already put it on my heart. See, that's a little trick. You done already put it on my heart now. Now you saying if it ain't on my heart, well, it wasn't on my heart, because if it was on my heart, I would have been done it. But because you put it on my heart, now you put me in a, right? If I love you, go on out on the record. And Shorty went out on the record and said, yo, Diddy, that's not the Diddy I know. I don't know which version of Diddy I would have been more comfortable seeing. The one that was spaced out, felt like he understood the gravity, like, yo, I'm in the twilight zone. These folk trying to lock me up. Versus the confident one. I think the confident one resonates more with me. But if you've never been under attack and you just see that, it can be took like, oh, he's naive. He doesn't understand the gravity of the situation. And I wouldn't say that's the case. I would say that he's just trying to fight through it. And sometimes black men are get in the corner and fight through it. Now Diddy's done some nasty shit, but Diddy still Diddy. And so he's a strategic mind. No matter where they put him, they can put him in Fort Dix or Fort Nix. He's a strategic mind, and so he's going to find a way to be strategic. Now, again, I just want to reiterate that this documentary, one of the main characters is a gentleman that says he co-founded Puff Daddy's Bad Boy Entertainment, and he was told that, yo, sign over your rights. And when he explained the environment, he said, yo, Diddy came in and he had a bat and he told me sign and I need to do this business deal and you need to sign over 25%. That's what your stake is in the company. You better sign over your 25%. And he made him do it under duress with a bat. And the first thing that came to my mind is, you're going to have more than a bat to make me sign over 25%. The only way you can get a nigga to sign over 25% with a bat is how, ladies and gentlemen. You got to come right in and whack him. Bow! Sign it right now. He got to be bleeding when you put the contract up. But if you just come in with a bat in your hand hollering 25%, you at least got to break something. You got to hit something in here, my nigga. I got to know you a killer nigga with your bare hands with that bat, because I don't believe it. So you going to have to do something about this 25% to make me feel something, because I don't, man, I'm not signing over no 25% because no nigga come in no room with no bat in his hand. Man, I'm not raised like that, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. You gonna have to whack her as soon as you come in. See, cause this is what you learn early when these dudes be doing these robbing things. They know soon they come in, they got to shoot. They got to hit somebody. Some got to happen soon they get on location. Soon they kick the door. Boom, boom, bow, bow. Lay it down, nigga. You know I used this. This motherfucker ain't no toy gun. You got a bat in your hand. I'm supposed to think you got the veracity to beat a nigga to death with a bat that own 25% of your company and you famous. I'ma just go for that one. Man, you pushing the wrong one, man. Y'all nigga better come in here with a AK-47 and shoot it soon you hit the door. But this gentleman went ahead to explain how Diddy was a violent individual. And when he said he was violent, he was explaining a scenario that I never knew about, because I'm not necessarily ingratiated in all of Diddy's history. And he spoke about how Diddy was in a scenario to where some of his fame was built on a tragedy. He had over promoted a get together party and people actually died. RIP to those people in those families, but people actually died at this event because he over promoted. Now, I understand that there's capacity for a reason. There's weight limits for a reason. I get it, right? I understand tragedy happens. This is a very tragic situation. But the gentleman telling us this, I still think we have to view him with a side eye. No disrespect to him, because his next statement took me back, and I want to get y'all opinion on this. His next statement, he says his mom, Diddy's mom, came to him and she said that, yo, son, I'm worried for you. You know, you had this big tragedy happen. You done left college. You're now in the music business. Do you really think you did the right thing? I'm concerned. I really want the best for you. And he said Diddy went over there and put his hands on his mom and smacked the dog shit out of his mama. Now I said, now they taking me too far. I don't have no understanding for what Diddy done done. But now they taking me too far. They just telling me Diddy just walking up on his mom for being concerned with him. Now, if you gonna tell a lie, and I ain't even gonna call it a lie because I don't know if it's the truth or not, but from my perspective, if you're gonna say something like that, you got to at least create an environment where he was acting out of rage. Or are y'all trying to position Diddy as someone that can go from hot to cold like that? But to tell me that his mom came to him concerned, he put his hands on it and smacked his mom about being concerned for him, feels a little bit much to me. I'm just saying, that feels a bit much to me. Episode 2 is when my mind said, oh, they were working on 2 documentaries. Because episode 2 comes in and I'm like, why are we talking about Pac and Big? I thought we was talking about the reckoning, right? We gonna talk about his RICO charge and the prostitution ring and how many people was involved and the people covering up. I'm thinking this is gonna be about his trial and the charges that he had caught. Episode 2, we talking about Tupac and Biggie. And so they positioned Diddy in a way where, oh, the beef was about him. Matter of fact, Biggie even named his album Life After Death, not on his own accord, but because of the situation with Tupac happening, he had died in his life after death. You understand me? They revisit this scenario where Diddy and Pac don't see things on each other's terms and they never are able to do business, but Pac has a relationship with Biggie. Again, me understanding some of this, I've been knew a lot of this. I'm wondering, how's this episode 2 in a Diddy documentary called The Reckoning? Then it starts to dawn on me, oh, okay. They're trying to paint a pattern of behavior and say that, yo, this was going to come to an end one day. And so the marketing and promotion got me and made me thought it was going to be about his charges and some of the sex ring and whatever that they alleged that he had going on. But I think if I'm Netflix, you get the most value instead of doing 2 standalone documentaries about this Tupac murder. Was Diddy involved? And then this Diddy thing. You look better doing a docu-series, 4 episodes, mash them all together. Whatever footage we got this little bit of footage from the people with him. Let's put this all together. You get the most value rolling it out all at once like that. People are going to come over thinking it's about this, get a little bit of this, that, and the third. Also with the Tupac and Biggie thing, it feels like that, yo, the feds may come back and try to get him on that because, trust me, they're not happy with the outcome of what took place as it pertains to the indictment that they brought down on Sean Combs. They spent a lot of money. They raided homes. They were looking to either have him liquidate or confiscate most of his fortune. They came out with 2 prostitution charges, Mann Act charges, and they had to fight to get the dude to serve 5 years. So this was not necessarily a win from the federal perspective, but I do believe if they continue to push this Tupac thing, it kind of feels like people are trying to get him, yo, man, look into this Tupac thing. But it's been so long, man. It just feels like the evidence and the people speaking now are just, they've said so many different things, so many different ways. I'm not sure how far you can get with it. Now, overall, it was a good documentary. You know, I think they told the story how they wanted to tell it. I'm always interested in like the editing and the transitions and the B-roll and the voice selection. And like, because I make content, I'm always saying, man, I need to do a document. I need to start doing them, right? But I need the team to do them. But I think it was a good documentary. I think the Kirk guy was someone who had sued Diddy. He had access to what he knew could be, and then they took that access from him. And you know, I just take whatever people like that say with a grain of salt, and that's not to disrespect him. Think he's a cool gentleman, and I don't want to undermine his contributions to hip-hop as a whole. But at the same time, I also want to second the notion that, yo, it was not cool for Puff to try to charge Biggie's family for the funeral. But that's that label rap bullshit. That's that industry bullshit. You understand? A lot of this shit not genuine. And so you had these niggas. I remember talking to Rich Homie Quan father, Corey, and I would always ask him, like, did anybody reach out? Did anybody offer to help? What did it feel like? Right? You got a young legend come up out the gutter. We come from the South. What does it feel like? That's why when I talk to Thug, you go to jail, how does it feel? But Thug was at a high point, so he still don't know. But there's some niggas that'll go into a bad scenario and everything they've worked for, all of the people that were screaming their name and shouting for them, evaporate. You know, when the road get tough, people will abandon you, my nigga. And so you'll have these industry niggas that'll be your homeboys and be in business with them, and nigga, they'll charge your family to put you to rest, and then go on tour screaming how much they miss you and got songs about how much they miss you. That's my best friend. Like they holding on to your legacy and holding it up. Why you charging the family for the funeral? I think that wasn't cool. I can't stand by that. Because then the new conversation become how much you fuck niggas think y'all cosign worth. See, that be the problem. A lot of these niggas in this industry and them doing business in the game, they walk around like they cosign jet. Man, how much y'all fuck niggas think that little cosign of yours worth? The interesting thing about this game is you'll be the last one to know your cosign ain't worth nothing. And that's the problem. A lot of you niggas cosigns ain't worth the value y'all putting on it, pushing around like y'all really pushing yours. I look around, niggas ain't turned nobody up. Niggas will stop liking and reposting. Man, your repost ain't never turned nobody up. Your cosign ain't never done nothing for nobody. You ain't never pushed nobody to become a millionaire. See, it's the illusion causing the confusion. I know what's causing the confusion. You get in this entertainment bid and they teach you how to Dougie. They teach you how to act like it. They teach you how to dance. So I'm saying, they teach you how to look good in front of the camera. They teach you how to make it seem like, you understand, you putting paint where it ain't. But a lot of y'all niggas cosigns ain't worth nothing. The people I fuck with them genuinely. Whether they big dogs or they ain't big dogs, it's a genuine relationship. But see, a lot of y'all go to chasing that. And Diddy, you come off as petty doing that. I don't respect that. But I know Diddy bugged out. When I seen Diddy run out of the hotel room and do that stupid ass shit to Cassie, I knew he was bugged out. He had a towel on with socks on. The argument could not have been he got out the shower. because you had socks on, which tells me that Diddy was walking around the hotel room arguing butt naked with socks on. This is the kind of nigga, that's what I'm trying to tell you, he was bugged the fuck out, man. And my heart goes out to Cassie to have to go through that, but at the same time, this is a bugged out gentleman. He's running down the hallway with a towel on and socks. His body ain't wet. He was standing in the room with that woman arguing butt naked, Fred. You cannot argue with your meat out. Shit gonna spoil. Yeah, nah, put your meat in the refrigerator, my nigga. You can't have your meat out. Shit gonna spoil, man. You understand me? But watching his demeanor in those episodes, it didn't feel like he was broken. It did feel like he was someone who had made his mind up that he had a fight coming and he was gonna go down fighting. Very different than what I seen in the media prior to seeing this documentary. It felt like from the viewing public's perspective that he was just like in La La Land and lost. In every picture he was stressed out and somewhere looking at his phone and screaming and didn't know. But all in all, it was a great documentary. Netflix always has the best cameras, the best editors. It looks well. It's in that very dark setting, gloomy setting, right? They've created an excellent vibe. But I understand that their business model says that they're going to be telling these kind of stories for a long time. And they don't necessarily need the participation from the people that they tell the stories about. But I think because they had a relationship with Diddy, they needed to shield themselves from looking like, we did something that was kind of frowned upon in the business, and so they used 50. But I watched the entire thing. I heard some people say, looking at that documentary, he deserved more time. And I wouldn't discredit or disagree with anyone's opinion as to what they think he should have been held accountable for, what happened. What I think raises my eyebrows is these are the same people that was cool with Diddy. And they was waving the Diddy flag. And that's, again, that speak to the industry kind of love, this industry thing that they have going on. You heard Payne speak about, sometimes you hear me speak about, and not because I participate in it, because I view it. I'm an expert in human behavior, so I watch things and I watch people and I trust patterns. There's only a select group of people that can break their pattern. That's why it's easy to catch these dudes in the same scenarios over and over and over and over, because they don't break pattern. They drive home the same way. They engage with women the same way. They like the same things. They don't try anything different. They don't expand their palates. And so they've always stuck in a loop where you can grab them at any moment. They also spoke to a point where Diddy tried to be street. I always tell y'all, it ain't what you do, is when you done it. So if you do some gangster shit after you got rich, that ain't no gangster shit. See, y'all done read the wrong books. Y'all done downloaded the wrong software. See, I'm from the era where we teach the young niggas having money don't make you real and being broke don't make you a sucker. Don't let that confuse you. So a lot of these niggas got money, they don't mean much. They print it every day. How many of these niggas got integrity, moral standards? How many of these niggas stand for something, stand on their word? Ain't really into the pump faking. How many people? How many you know? That's why I won't no nigga talking street talk to me. I beat the streets. They steady more talking street talk, nigga. I beat the streets. And when I say I beat the streets, don't take that as me being arrogant. Take that as a black man and say he broke the chains. You can't be afraid to be a student. Be new. Be a newbie. Yeah, my children call me a noob when I jump on the game and I'm running the Cyrus in the match. But you can't be afraid to be a newbie, right? So I broke the chains, went and got new on them. See, they want new shit, but they don't want to do new things. I went and done new things to get new shit. Again, we've been undersold the process. I'm the one telling y'all I'm standing at the top of the mountain. There ain't no such thing as a get rich quick scheme. Everything is a multi-step process. You learn to walk, then you learn to run. Why do you want to run if you can just walk? Well, you have to get there faster. Efficiency is key. You got to optimize. You understand? And so just because you get rich, don't think you made it, because you ain't made it until you can protect what you worked for. And then when you look at what you worked for, the new question is that enough to last me forever? And that's a question that a lot of people can't answer. And so the blanket that comes along with going to work every day and the 401k and the retirement plan allows some people to sleep nice at night. And it scares other people. The fact I work all my life and get paid pennies to get paid even cheaper you get the picture. And so I always push a different message. You know, I'm talking from a different altitude. That's why it's called It's Up There, because I'm speaking from way up there. I hear them and I understand what they're saying, and no disrespect to nobody, but I'm just speaking from up there. You know, I'm speaking from the towers. Yeah, man, it's really up there. You hear me, man? So I want to thank each and every person that stopped in, checked in to It's Up There podcast. This is 2 this week. I know y'all love me, but if you really love me, share it, like it, and subscribe. Let your people know I was there. I bear witness to the game. It's Up There podcast. Hit like. I see y'all on Patreon. You know I see you again soon. I love you. For shit show.